Conspiracy theories that are too logical to ignore. The world is an awesome place, filled with life, humans, animals, plants, and so many creatures we might not even know about. And this means so many stories to tell, both good and bad, both real and bizarre. But how far can one story go? How well can it be told? And to what extent will we consider the validity? You know what? Let's take a drill on that and maybe find out a little more in today's video. Hello and welcome back to another definitely interesting episode on this channel, where we will be going through the mysterious aspects of life and unbinding wraps around some of the craziest theories, ideas, and beliefs that have led people into an endless search. Now, we all love conspiracy theories, don't we? They can be fun to just hear about. Just like tales of sci-fi movies, they can be horrific at the same time. And for the most part, they can be surreal. But do we believe in these theories? Well, most of us will say no, but maybe it's because we haven't heard of those theories that just can't be overlooked. They have been so well crafted that every angle of sight seems to shine on them, the light of truth. So, what are some of these theories? Interested in knowing what these theories are? Why not stick around to the end of the video and find out? Now be sure to drop a like on this video, share, and subscribe if you want more content from our channel. Government poisoned alcohol during prohibition. Now, who would have thought that the government would have tried to stop intakes of alcohol by poisoning the drinks? And yes, that is a conspiracy, and it is true. There was a time when the government made booze illegal, but that doesn't mean people stopped drinking during the prohibition. But when those who decided to still get tipsy started dying, accusations went in the air that the government was poisoning alcohol to enforce prohibition. In fact, the government was poisoning alcohol and freely admitted to it, to the extent that they even published an entire short book on the subject. However, according to the government, the purpose wasn't to enforce prohibition, but for federal revenue purposes. Of course, the government would always have a reason. After all, they claim to be in support of the nation, don't they? Princess Diana's murder. The theory behind this conspiracy immediately arose hours after her death on August 31st, 1997. We humans just have a way to things, don't we? The thoughts of someone of royalty, a high-profile figure, getting killed so suddenly was a complete shock. And this is especially true in the case of Princess Diana's death, because it's quite common for royalties to die of old age, political intrigue, or eating too much rich food, and not by some drunken driver. Now, you might be wondering, what in the world was the conspiracy theory behind her death? Well, rumor has it that the accident was, in fact, an assassination by British intelligence agencies at the request of the royal family. But the conspiracy was later put down by the coroner's jury, concluding that Diana and Al-Fayed were unlawfully killed due to negligence by their drunken chauffeur and pursuing paparazzi. But then again, this conspiracy may be true. Could it have been that there was a dispute between the family behind closed doors, not known to the public? Well, I guess no one has the key, and the true story will just have to remain behind closed doors. Subliminal advertising. Okay, viewers, this question is for you. Have you ever craved for something while you are watching TV? Like you suddenly get the irresistible urge to buy a new car? Or maybe do something you just never thought you would do? If yes, then you may have been a victim of subliminal advertising. You see, this theory claims that subliminal or subconscious messages in advertising were rampant and damaging. But the theory was discredited because obviously when you see things advertised on television, you might be intrigued to the point you will subconsciously want to get it. There's no inherent benefit of subliminal advertising over regular advertising any more than there would be a sequence flash of a commercial instead of the full 30 seconds playing duration. But could it be true? What if at that split second an advertisement was trying to hypnotize you to buy a product from them without you knowing? Some continuously claim the potency of subliminal messaging and advertising, which is what has left this theory quite intriguing to overlook. So guys, before we get back into the video, let me just take a minute to remind you to drop a like on this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you would know when we drop another video. Now that you're done with that, let's get back to the conspiracy world. Illuminati and the US government were in cahoots. Well, the next theory is nothing we have not heard before, and for the most part, I actually believe this was true. Well, the theory is that Illuminati and the US government are working together. The conspiracy theory was that a secret society that rules the world, the Illuminati and the US National Security Agency, are in cahoots. Now, you might be thinking, how in the world is that even possible? Sure, it's okay to have questions, and I'm here to tell you that a link does, in fact, exist. Of course, that link is actually an electronic link between two internet sites. If you type Illuminati backwards as Itanimuli into a web browser, you will land on the NSA website. Strange, right? Well, that's the world we live in. Paul McCartney's death. There are a lot of stories and conspiracies out there that circulated the music industry in the late 1960s. About Beatles guitarist Paul McCartney's death in 1966, rumor, or let me say conspiracy, has it that the remaining members of the Beatles, along with their manager and others, conspired to keep McCartney's death a secret, going so far as to hire a look-alike and sound-alike to take his place in the band. So many strange things to hear about. But my question is, why would they do that? But then again, if they could, then why not? It's a bad idea though, and graceful to observations, this theory was disputed because people noticed some signs from clever clues in album covers and music-giving details about McCartney's existence status. For example, on the cover of the Abbey Road album, all four Beatles are photographed striding across a zebra crossing, but only McCartney is barefoot and out of step with the other three. That must mean something, right? The Roswell crash cover-up. It's known that something crashed on a remote ranch outside of Roswell, New Mexico in 1947. But the thing is, we don't know what it is that crashed. The government initially claimed it was some sort of saucer. Then they took back the statement and claimed it was really a weather balloon. But why though? Why would they claim it is something when it isn't? You know, that sort of claim would raise eyebrows. As it turned out, descriptions of the wreckage first reported by the original eyewitnesses very closely match photos of the Project Mogul balloons, down to the strange symbols on its side and the silvery finish. Irrespective of the whole forged stories, the truth turned out to be that there was indeed a cover-up. But it didn't hide a crashed saucer. Instead, it hid a Cold War-era spying program. Canada tried to develop gaydar. This one is actually such a funny conspiracy theory. I mean, who would have thought that the government gave a piece about relationships so much that Canada would try to develop a gay radar? Isn't it funny that the Canadian government were so paranoid about homosexuality that they developed a gaydar machine? As crazy as it might sound, this actually happened in the 1960s. The government hired a university professor to develop a way to detect homosexuality in federal employees. The professor came up with a machine that measured pupil dilation in response to same-sex erotic imagery, and the Canadian government used it to exclude more than 400 men from civil service, the military, and the Mounties. This is sad, as a lot of people lost their jobs back then over such a matter. Fortunately though, things have changed a lot since those days. Stories will never end, and time will fail us to tell of all the ones we might want to speak of. Nevertheless, you definitely must have found something that intrigued you the most in these theories. In fact, what are they? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for sticking to the end of the video. Make sure to drop a like if you enjoyed it, and please don't forget to subscribe and share with friends.